Good morning. For today's Bible study, I'm going to be making a king ranch casserole from scratch. I got the original idea for this recipe, most of it, from Simply Mama Cooks. But remember, I'll put a link down below for her recipe. But there's a little bit difference in mine. Okay, I've got one medium onion chopped. Her recipe called for one. I've got 2 Pabalano peppers chopped. If you don't know, this is a Pabalano pepper. You don't have to use Poblanos. You can use jalapenos or hatch chilies or big Jims. Just whatever kind you like.
Anaheim.
Okay, and of course, Roma tomatoes.
That's what this is.
I have 3 Roma tomatoes chopped. I chose not to deseed. We don't mind the seeds. Okay, and you're going to need 4 tablespoons of butter, which is half a stick. We have a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, and half a teaspoon of salt. In here we have 1.5 tablespoons of chicken bouillon powder. And here we have 4 tablespoons of flour. In the original recipe, she sauteed her mushrooms. I'm choosing to use my own homemade mushroom soup that I made in September, which will do that. Good. Here I have 4 cups of cheddar cheese. I have some sour cream. You can add, this is optional. Sour cream is optional, 1 cup. And I have 4 cups of milk. I also have some corn tortillas. These are homemade. You can use store-bought. You don't have to make homemade. And then in my pressure cooker here, which is right now it's depressurizing. Turn it there. I have 4 chicken breasts. I've got them poaching in chicken broth. And I will take that out. I will shred it. And then we'll come back and when we get to that point and start showing you how to put this together. Until then, see you in a bit. Okay, I've got my chicken poached and I'm just going to shred it here. And I did it in my electric pressure cooker for 45 minutes. And it's coming out very easy. Okay, so we'll come back when we're ready to start assembling. Okay, in my Dutch oven I have about 2 tablespoons of oil. We're going to add the onion, start it sauteing. And then we're going to add Pabalano peppers. I'm not sure I want to add all of that. I'll add most of it.
You want fresh crispy ones?
I'll use those in another dish.
Oh, okay. So you think 1 would have been enough?
One Pabalano would have been plenty.
Okay, good.
Especially as large as those were.
Yeah, especially.
So we'll saute these until the onion's nice and soft and translucent, and then we'll be back. Now, got that, the onions are just about there, so I'm going to go ahead and add my 4 tablespoons of butter in here. I'm using salted butter. Use whatever you have. You can.
Well, you're going to season salt at the end anyhow, right?
Well, I'm not adding any salt because I've got the chicken bouillon.
Okay, it's salty, yeah.
But it's kind of salty, so when you're, before you put your casserole together, you taste it and see if you need any seasoning, more salt, more pepper, or maybe you like more garlic, you know?
Yeah.
And I was telling my husband that if I was making this for just us, I'd probably use more onion and all of that poblano. If you were going to use mushrooms, fresh mushrooms, you'd do that before you do this part. You'd start the mushrooms, then do the onions. I'll post the link from Simply Mama's down below, and you can watch her video. Okay, so that butter's just about melted. So now we're going to add our flour and stir that in.
Like a roux, huh?
We're making a roux, a cream. And you don't want to brown the flour. You just want to get that raw flour flavor off of it, out of the thing.
Yeah, about 30 seconds to a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not too long. Okay, there's my mushroom stew. Yeah, give you that. And
What?
the lady from Simply Mama explains, you know, what the original recipe was, but basically you would use cream of chicken soup can, cream of mushroom soup can, and a can of Rotel.
Yeah. A can of this and a can of that.
I could have used my homemade Rotel, but I chose to go this route. So I think that's good enough. It's not browning. We're going to go ahead and add our tomatoes, just chopped up, and get them going. Those will start juicing up. Then I'm going to add my seasonings, which is the bullion, the onion, and the garlic powder and peppers. Put that mixed in. And then we're going to add my jar of my mushroom soup. It's not cream of mushroom, but it's homemade. There you go. Get that going. It'll give it a brownie color. Now, instead of using the milk today, I changed my mind. I have, about a cup of
How much
cream.
milk did it call for?
3 to 4 cups.
Okay.
And this is about a cup of cream. 8 ounces, yeah, 1 cup. And then I've got my broth that I poached the chicken in. I'm going to pour that in there. It's better than the... What we're making is a creamy. You could use this as a...
Well, it's just the
soup.
broth was so good, we hated to...
And I might use some more broth, just depends on how thick it is. You want it to thicken up, but you don't want it too thick, because it's going to bake in the oven here in a little while.
Can we go ahead and bring over the...
Yeah, you can bring over the chicken.
And the tortillas, the cheese, sour cream.
Yeah, those I'll layer. The rest of that I'll layer. I won't need those yet.
Okay, gotcha.
And we'll bring this up to a boil, and once it starts to thicken, I don't know if you want to stop it and wait till it comes. We'll be right back when it gets to that point. Okay, so went ahead and added the rest of my my broth, so I had to add a little more thickening agent, which I used arrowroot flour, but you want it to look kind of like that. I have to clean, but you can do a trace in it. So that's where you want that. You don't want it too thick. Turn this down a little more. Now I'm going to add my shredded chicken to it. Stir that in. And there you go. We have our sauce. That took about, because if I added the extra, it took a little over 10-12 minutes. But it should take about anywhere from 6 to 8 minutes for it to thicken up. There you go. Okay, we'll come back when we start layering it. Okay, I forgot to tell you that I'm going to add an optional, about a cup of sour cream, just because our family likes sour cream. This is pretty optional. If you don't have it, or if you don't like sour cream, don't put it in. We'll stir that in. There we go. All right, now we'll be back when we get ready to layer. Okay, now we're ready to assemble. First, before I do that, I want to show you how creamy that is. You could use this as, just use it as soup. Cook some noodles and serve it over soup, or over noodles, and that'd be really good. So we're gonna layer this. Because I made such a big batch, I'm gonna be nice and generous here. Because I like my, okay. Now we're gonna take the corn tortillas and we're gonna put them in here with okay. And like I said, you don't have to do homemade tortillas. You can use the store-bought ones. Now we're going to layer it again with more, oops, making a mess there. Some more sauce in here.
You didn't add cheese the last layer.
The first layer was the base. I haven't really started my layering yet. So we're going to put the sauce on there, and then we're going to put some, I'm using mild cheddar today. You can use whatever kind of cheese
that's what we got.
that you like.
You're going to put about a cup there, aren't you? Because it's only going to be about 4 layers. Whatever.
I'm just going with the flow here, whatever it takes.
Whatever's left over, we dump over the top, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You got a lot of that.
Yeah. Well, this is a pretty deep one. I might get.
Good. We got a few people to feed tonight.
Yep.
And when we get ready to bake this, what's the oven temperature?
We bake it at 350 degrees. We'll cover it with foil. Cover this dish with foil. And we'll bake it at 350 degrees for 20 minutes.
Jeez.
And then we will pull the foil off of it and bake it for another 10 minutes.
So a total of 30 minutes at 350.
Yeah. And if, you know, like mine are kind of small, my tortillas, that's what I make. And you can cut them up and use them in sections. You know, I bet you could even, instead of corn tortillas, you could use corn tortilla chips.
Probably.
To do this with.
Kind of like a cream of chicken soup. What I'd call a Mexican cream of chicken soup with the Pabalanos in there. Well, she said it was a rotel. It was the original recipe, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I've got enough for one more layer.
You got an edge up. There you go. You got it. Cheese. You see what I'm here for? Yeah. Well, when it comes to cheese, yeah, I'm on patrol.
You could add more, or you could add less. Just whatever you. Yeah. Okay. I'm doing an extra layer because I made an extra large batch.
Well, we have a very large container here.
Okay,
That was
and then I'm just going to pour the rest of this on here.
Was a gift from a friend of ours that makes it so we can make it bigger, deeper. What?
Let's spread this out.
Got the cloves.
I bet you could even add black olives to this, to those who like black olives.
Is black olives really a Mexican thing?
I don't know. We've always used black olives in our enchiladas and
That's
stuff.
true.
So.
That's true.
So there we go. Now we're going to finish it off with some cheese. And I'm not going to do a taste test on the casserole because I'm taking it all the way over to a friend's house.
Right, and then we're not going to be rude.
But I tell you what,
video there.
I did taste my sauce.
Well, we'll tell you tomorrow.
It was really a nice sauce.
We'll tell you on the video later what we thought of it.
I just need the foil, and we'll come back. We'll bring it back when we take it out of the oven. Well, the King Ranch chicken casserole turned out so good there was none left. And except I don't know if I would call it a King Chicken Ranch casserole or whatever it was called, because to me it was a chicken enchilada casserole, which was extremely yummy. So if you haven't tried it and you want to, I suggest you do. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.